All right, YouTube, what's going on? My name is Denonu, the man with the biggest and the most blackest privilege on YouTube. And Marvel is breaking the internet yet again because they just came out with their Infinity War, I guess you can call it a teaser trailer. Came out this morning and kind of broke the internet. Still trending probably everywhere. So I'm not going to do like a reaction video to it like most people do. I'm going to, talk about the important things. I'm gonna give my thoughts on the movie, where I think the MCU can go. We're gonna let all the privilege hang out on this video. But first things first, we got to talk about the most important thing I seen in the trailer. It's not the Infinity Stones, it's not Captain America, it's not Thanos getting a brisk walk in and getting up out of his chair. No, it was just how he just came out of that portal, raised up that gauntlet, and just gave Tony Stark the Rick James to the face.
What is the 5 fingers say to the face?
Oh, damn!
It was ugly, YouTube. It was vicious. I know when I seen it, I was like, Smokey on Friday. That was the first thing that popped in my mind when I seen it, because I was like, oh, this looked like it needs to be in World Star. Like, why isn't this like a World Star video and I have somebody recording with a cell phone of shitty quality? But anyways, important things aside, we got to see a lot in this little teaser. I mean, I know earlier on this year, back in July, I think during Disney's conference, they had a different cut of this footage. And it pretty much showed similar stuff, showed Thanos coming out of the portal, showed him like doing some more stuff, like he shattered a moon or like a small planet or something and brought it down to Earth as like comets and meteors and stuff, raining it down on everybody. So I think that's they're saving the other pieces of footage that wasn't in this in the follow-up trailers to come for before the movie actually comes out. And plus, Marvel is known for, tweaking their trailers a little bit here and there. And, they may cut stuff out. They may put more things back in there with CG. Who knows? But we did get to see a lot. We saw the same scene of Spider-Man with the hair rising up on him. You got to see a few more shots showing Tony Stark, Bruce Banner, everybody else. So it looks like, I don't know if this is going to be like in the first movie. I'm guessing it is, where this is like Thanos when he first gets to Earth, or maybe this is like, or maybe he hits Wakanda first, and then the latter half of the movie, that's when he comes to New York and just like wrecks everybody's shit. Or maybe he gets to New York, opens a portal, and half of the team gets sent somewhere else, and the other half stays there, because they can't have everybody in this movie. Like, they've gotten like everybody in the movie so far, but it's not like they're not. They can't have 30 actors all in the same 2-hour time span. So they got to break it up some kind of way. I don't know how they're going to do it, but Marvel is doing their damn thing. They're apparently putting WB on Suicide Watch with DC Films. But, it is what it is. I mean, when you step to the table with the big dogs, you got to bring your best stuff. And, DC and WB aren't doing that. But anyway, lower quality movies aside, movie looks damn good. To be honest, I know I'm a Marvel fan and everything first, more so than DC, but I guess if you can call it fanboyism, my fanboyisms aside, besides the characters, the quality of the movie's good. I mean, it has that money. Thor 2 had a couple shaky CG scenes in it. I'm not gonna say that was perfect, but this looks like, at least from the trailer, it looks like it's on point. Like, you got Vision getting messed up, Thanos looking badass with the gauntlet. He don't look shitty like Doomsday from Batman v Superman or Steppenwolf from Justice League. He's coming in there with the details. You saw all of his hair follicles on his rib chin and everything. But movie looks on point. You got Captain America bringing his side of the team together. Iron Man hitting up Doctor Strange. I hope they throw in some comic book stuff there. I'm expecting, him to go up in that manner and be like, oh shit, facial hair bros, like they did in the comic books. That was on point. I really don't have much to say. about the movie. I think Vision looks kind of weird with human skin, but I mean, it's Paul Bettany. I mean, he's like damn near perfect in everything he acts in, so I don't have no qualms with him. But I'm assuming, you know, that's gonna be like an upgrade to his thing. Like, oh, I'm trying to be more human, so maybe he could just grow human skin or change his red android form into something that looks like skin, something like that. I'm kind of curious to see who's gonna die. I mean, it has to be somebody, YouTube. I'm guessing it's either gonna be Captain America or Tony Stark, only because they're the two heavy hitters, you know. Maybe not so much Cap when it comes to heavy hitting, but they're the two people who, like, if I had to guess who would at least die, I'm leaning towards Cap. You know, it has to be, you know, I'm leaning towards Cap more so than Iron Man, but because I know both of them want to come out of their contracts and everything eventually, this will be a good place to kill Captain America off. It really would. Iron Man, I guess you could do that, but who's gonna be like the Iron Man of the MCU at that point? You know what I'm saying? So at least with Tony Stark, they can not kill him and then have him in future movies as like, oh, let me go to our tech guy and have somebody else act as Tony Stark. You know what I'm saying? So Captain America's like, they can kill him at any time and just pass the shield to Bucky if they wanted to do that. Or if they wanted to do like how the recent comic books are, you know, they could give it to Falcon. But honestly, I don't think that's the case because this movie, you know, Falcon isn't, I'm not going to say isn't as popular as the comic book Falcon because he's not that popular either. But Falcon, you know, in the comic books has a whole lot more history behind Captain America than the one in the movie does. So in the comic books, Bucky got the shield and Falcon got the shield. But when Falcon got the shield, it was like, look, I can't say nothing. That's Falcon. He's been with Cap since the 70s. The MCU isn't like that. So it's like they don't have that history together. If anybody in the MCU would get to be the role of Captain America, it would be Bucky. So if Cap dies, I think they're probably going to give it to him. Plus, they signed him with like a 7-movie picture deal when they first hired him. So I'm guessing that's where they're going to go with it eventually. As far as the Vision goes, I'm not sure if he's going to die, YouTube. I mean, it's because they can easily, you know, rework that. Like, yeah, he came into being with the Infinity Stone and everything. But all they got to do, at least with him, is maybe like if he gets the stone taken, maybe, you know, Iron Man or somebody else could whip up like a power source and stick into his forehead and get him up and running again. You know, give him a hard reboot, so to speak. You know, get Wanda to press all his buttons in the right order and bam, you know, he'll restart. So it's one of those things where they could still have him around even with the stone. So him like getting jacked up and getting the stone take is like, I don't know if I believe that to kill him, you know. You got Loki being Loki. He's giving, you know, Thanos the cube. I mean, as he should. I mean, he probably seen Iron Man get hit up, you know, getting his teeth knocked out. So he's like, I don't want no parts of that. So, you know, here's this cube. I did promise you this in Avengers 1, so here you go. I'm just late, you know, better late than never. You got Black Panther talking about engaging your Avengers and give this man a shield because shit's, you know, about to pop off. So, Black Panther's being Black Panther. I'm guessing this is probably after Black Panther's movie, so they're gonna probably explain all the Wakanda stuff in his movie because I think that comes out before this. I think Thanos, I mean, I don't know where they're gonna take his character because from what I understand, he's coming to Earth with the Black Order. And the Black Order, you know, they could take the Avengers by themselves, you know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of curious to see, because Thanos doesn't have to step foot. I mean, maybe he's tired of being in that chair, you two. Maybe his legs, you know, fell asleep and he was like, look, I got to stand up and work, you know, I got to stretch my legs out a little bit. Maybe he got, maybe he got up and was like, just decided he was bored and wanted to come to Earth because, you know, he's so powerful. Well, he doesn't have to come to Earth. I mean, people who watch the MCU movies and who don't know who Thanos is, but yet they might recognize who he is, but they don't know him. They don't know how strong he is. Like, this is a man who bitch smacked the Hulk. He bitch smacked the Hulk, broke Captain America's shield, and snapped his fingers and took out half of the life in the universe. That's who Thanos is. So I'm guessing, at the end of either this movie or maybe the next movie, they have to show Thanos being that universal threat. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of this movie, I don't think he may not have all of the gems, or gems. I'm saying gems. It's the stones in the MCU. Yeah, and they always change name with the mediums. But anyway, I think Thanos, either he's gonna get half of the gems in this movie, or half of the gems in the next movie, or he's gonna get all of the gems in this movie, and by the end of the movie, that's when he's gonna get all 5. Or all 6. I think it's 5 or 6. I think it's 6. But he's gonna get all 6 of them, and then in the next movie, that's when they go to space and they have to actually go and fight and defeat him. You know, I think this movie's gonna end on a sour note. It's gonna be one of those like tragic victories. Like, yeah, we may have stopped him from fucking up Earth and wiping out Earth, but he's gonna whoop all of their asses, and I think somebody's gonna die. There's a bunch of rumors going around where it's gonna be, you know, this is gonna have time travel in it some way. So maybe he might come down and like, I mean, he chokeslammed Spider-Man in the trailer, so maybe he kills Spider-Man, and that's why, you know, Iron Man was looking all sad and stuff, because he brought him into the whole superhero thing, kinda. And you know, then he got killed, so maybe that's why he's, you know, all sad and disheartened and everything. I'm just don't know who else he would be that hurt up for. Maybe over Steve. Maybe he kills Captain America, and then, you know, that's what kind of triggers that. Maybe kind of fulfilling that prophecy that, you know, he had in Age of Ultron. Or maybe like Thanos like snaps his fingers at the end of, you know, this movie and ends up wiping out half the life in the galaxy. And in the next one, they have to, you know, get Doctor Strange to maybe he can somehow hold on to, you know, that time gem magic and like rewind time, or maybe he shoots them back into the past to try to prevent, this future from happening, kind of like how Raiden did, you know, everybody in Mortal Kombat X. But it'll be damn good to see, and I'm pretty sure Marvel's gonna spare no expense. Like, I know I've been saying it ever since, like, I've been making commentaries talking about, you know, these MCU movies, and when this movie comes out, it's gonna change the world and how people view movies. Like, this movie's gonna probably break so many records, YouTube. I mean, this movie's gonna be ridiculous with what it does. Like, all the DC fanboys you see online who hate Marvel, I know they're probably mad as shit right now. Like, when you even have, like, I said, you know, because I read the comments in YouTube sections and on Facebook and stuff like that. When you have DC fanboys commenting like I don't like Marvel, but fuck WB, man, they ruined our shit. Because even they can see, like, yeah, you may not like the movies, but to see Marvel doing their damn thing, you got to look at WB like, why can't you do that shit? You know? But I'm hoping they'll get there someday. Honestly, because I'm a fan of both, and it's just, I have just no qualms. I mean, my biggest questions of the movie is, like, you know, since Iron Man is one of my favorite, you know, superheroes and everything, I'm trying to see what kind of armor he got. Because, I mean, that looks like the bleeding edge armor he's wearing, but it could be like the MCU's version of that. I mean, I want him to have that transhumanism bleeding edge armor that he had from the comic books. So maybe they might fold that in some kind of way, because it looks like a more streamlined suit and everything. And that seems like the direction they were going in with every movie he comes out with a different suit. I remember in Civil War, he had the helmet that would kind of go, you know, disappear behind his neck. So either I'm guessing it's gonna be like the bleeding edge armor from the comics, where it's, you know, nano machines that come out of his body, or it's gonna be something like maybe his suit just compresses down into the arc reactor. And because if you look at the scenes of Tony Stark in the trailer, he's wearing the arc reactor on like the outside of his shirt. So maybe, you know, the armor just compresses down into that cavity into his chest. I know the bleeding edge in the comic book did something similar, but instead of it, let's say, being semi-organic or whatever, they can make it so that it has that mechanized look to it. You know, kind of like how Star-Lord's kind of helmet, no, his would kind of like disappear when he would hit that button, but maybe his armor or maybe Tony Stark's armor kind of folds in on itself until it compresses down to that little like wannabe triangle on his chest. And I'm kind of interesting. My tech side, and my geek side is like, I wonder what they're doing with that, because that's what it looks like. That's the first thing that pops in my mind when I see it. As far as everybody else goes, I mean, yeah, this movie's gonna probably have everybody else in it. I'm really surprised that Marvel, I guess they have to do it, right? But I'm surprised that they're showing Thanos, because they're not really showing the Black Order yet. I figured they would at least show the Black Order in this trailer, and then that one last trailer, or maybe the second to last trailer that they have for the movie, that's when you see Thanos come out, right? But I guess everybody already knows it's Thanos, so maybe, maybe having him show up is that's probably a big thing. So I'm curious to see how the MCU and how the superheroes are gonna beat Thanos. Because like I said, he has that mean right hook that he gave Iron Man. So he could give that right hook to anybody, YouTube, and put him on the ground. But I know in the comic books, they all had to go in space to fight him. Like you had Silver Surfer, Warlock, all the Avengers. You had Doctor Strange was up there. Everybody went to go fight this dude. So the MCU doesn't have all that. So it's okay, well, I'm pretty sure the Infinity Gauntlet, when, even when he does get all the gems and puts it on and everything, it's going to be one of those things where it's just going to be a downplayed version of what's in the comic books. I already know that, because in the comic books, when you get that Infinity Gauntlet, you can pretty much do anything you want, kill anybody you want. It gives you control over every facet of reality. You become, in lack of a better word, or lack of a better descriptive word, you become a god. You control reality, time, space, cosmic awareness. You control everything. Even if somebody's on the other side of the galaxy, I'm gonna plot to get this dude, we're gonna do this, we're gonna set up this plans, we're gonna do this. He knows what you're thinking because he has cosmic awareness over there. Oh, okay, that's cute, he planning that. All right, he ain't gonna be able to stop me, but I'll let him do it. It's because with the glove, you can sense all of that and just snap your fingers, and that guy that was talking shit about you, oh yeah, he never existed. That's the kind of stuff you can do with this Infinity Gauntlet. So, I'm guessing, I don't think the MCU is going to take it that far, because they seem to nerf everybody. When you compare them to their comic book counterparts, they're kind of, yeah, we're talking about big aliens invading planets and stuff, but it's kind of grounded, that's why you see Spider-Man, he's not as strong as as he is in the comic books. Iron Man isn't as strong as he is in the comic books. Neither is Captain America. Well, Captain America's pretty on par with what he is, but he does a lot of more badass stuff. Doctor Strange is incredibly nerfed. Doctor Strange, when he's been nerfed like a Call of Duty weapon that was overpowered. That's how bad they nerfed him. They nerfed him into nothingness, damn near, compared to his comic book counterpart at the time. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna have him doing some stuff. Really, really excited about this movie, YouTube. I'm pretty sure Black Panther's scenes are gonna probably play a big part in the movie, only because I think because that's where I think the Soul Stone is. So they gotta go to Wakanda for that, and I'm guessing in Black Panther's movie, that's where they're gonna explain, where the Soul Stone is, what's going on with it. Some people on the internet think that it has, it may have something to do with, that's how they're gonna bring in the Panther God and stuff that Black Panther talks to in the comics. If they do, I think that's a really cool idea. That's a way of bringing in all of that mythos. And honestly, Marvel, even after, they can use Infinity War to kind of set the stage for the next phase of the MCU. And honestly, given all the news that I'm hearing, that's what I think they're gonna do, YouTube. There's a reason why they're not announcing phase, what are we on, 4 or 5? They're not announcing the next phase after the movies. They're just keeping everything close to the chest. And honestly, the reason I think that is because they're in talks right now, or it's rumored that they're in talks right now to buy Fox. And if that happens, that means they're going to get everything Fox owns, but they're going to also get the X-Men franchise and the Fantastic Four. They're going to both come back home to Marvel. And if they do that, Marvel is probably playing the long game. What they're probably doing is okay, well, let's plan something out. If we don't get them, keep things as they are, move forward, right? But on the other hand, they're like, if we are able to get the X-Men and the Fantastic Four back, how are we going to roll them into our current continuity? And that's what I think. That's the reason why I think they're not announcing, anything yet. They're trying to get all those plans together. They're trying to finalize that deal with Fox. That way, when they do come out and be like, oh shit, now we got fucking Wolverine joining the Avengers and whooping ass. That's like one step closer. Then all we got to get is we got to bitch smack Sony a little bit, get the rest of Spider-Man's franchise back on over. Then we're good, YouTube. We got Marvel back at home. They're owning everything. Then if WB can ever get up off their ass, maybe we can get an Avengers versus Justice League movie. Just saying, throwing it out there. I want to see that. I've been saying it in every commentary that I talk about these comic book movies. That's my end game. As a fan, that's what I want. Like, at the end of the day, I want Marvel to make movies for 20 years, and then I want like WB to come up. I want them to make movies, and then I want the two franchises to coalesce in one 6-hour movie of awesomeness. But I don't know, YouTube. I don't know. But so far, I'm incredibly pumped for Infinity War. I'm sure it's gonna have its flaws. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, the movie's gonna be perfect or anything like that. My hope is that Marvel has been on point so far. They haven't really straight up lied to anybody. They didn't pull like a Justice League or a Batman v Superman. So they haven't had no really major flops storytelling wise. I think their biggest one was probably Age of Ultron. And that wasn't like a story flop. That was just more of that the movie felt like it was fast. The movie didn't have a lot of time for its story and plot to breathe, to expand, to be what it was. It wasn't like Avengers 1. So I don't know, or my biggest worry about this film is that I don't think they're showing too much. I mean, honestly, some people go in trailers and be like, oh, they're showing us the whole movie. I don't think that. I think this movie's gonna have a whole lot more, YouTube. But my biggest fear is that they don't get a big head, kind of like how WB does their stuff. They don't get egotistical. We're like, oh, we can put out anything and have people watch it. I don't think that's the case. They seem to be taking their time and doing their damn thing. So I just hope that this movie doesn't get convoluted with all the different actors and stuff that's in it. I hope it doesn't try to switch perspectives or try any new weird filming techniques. I don't think that's the case, given how the trailer is. The trailer looks pretty much straightforward. They can pretty much jump right into the action with this movie. They don't have to explain like backstory or nothing like that. My biggest, worry is, or one of the biggest worries is, they have to explain Thanos. Like out of my biggest thing is like, besides the movie having too much in it, because like this has to be like a 2-hour movie, maybe 2.5 hours. So I mean, it's that they still have a lot of stuff that they got to do, and you have to have Thanos have an origin story. You can't just have him pop up and be like, oh, I'm the big bad guy behind the scenes. You can't make him a Saturday morning cartoon villain. He has to you have to explain why he's the shit, or at least show it in some kind of way. And honestly, that's what I think they're probably going to do. They're going to probably have Thanos come to Earth in the movie, bitch smack Iron Man like he did. Captain America's going to jump up with his shield, and probably at the end of the movie, he's going to probably shatter Captain America's shield like he did in the comics. And that's going to be that, oh shit, that's going to be like when Thor's hammer broke in Ragnarok, that's going to be like that, oh shit, that's that Captain America, that's that symbol of hope and that willingness to not give up and not to fight for what's right. He's going to shatter that, and that's going to shatter the hope of everybody there probably. Either that has to happen or like I said, he has to snap his fingers and wipe out half the life on Earth or the universe or something. He has to do something big in order to show how powerful he is. And so far, I just don't see how. I mean, unless the writers write in some kind of BS through the script, where it's they go through time, they find some kind of MacGuffin and bring it back to the future, or somehow use it to take out Thanos. I mean, that would be a bullshit way to end the movie. I hope they don't do that, but honestly, what I think at the end of this movie, I think shit's gonna change. And I don't just mean in the movie per se. I mean, I think in the movie, things are going to be different at the end of Infinity War. Maybe not this movie, but the next one too. Like when they beat Thanos and coming out of that, into whatever the next phase of the MCU is. Either it's gonna be the normal MCU, and like Cap's gonna be dead, or Iron Man's gonna be dead, or something along those lines. Maybe reality gets worked a little bit so that things are gonna go back in time. Maybe something's gonna change, and then coming out of that into the next phase, maybe that's gonna introduce why maybe they might recast Iron Man and Captain America, so that could explain that if they wanted to go that route. Or the next phase is gonna probably have, like, they're gonna come out and be like, yo, now we got the X-Men and the Fantastic Four in our, in our movieverse. And then you got their whole franchise. You know, maybe Marvel can finally do Apocalypse, right? Since Fox, kind of shat the bed with that one. And, maybe, with the Fantastic Four, maybe that could bring in Galactus and the Silver Surfer and have Galactus be like the next threat, bring in the Devourer of Worlds, and maybe they can get into the whole cosmic side of Marvel a little bit more than what they already have. Because that's something, even in the movies, they haven't really did. They haven't really touched on the cosmic side, because Marvel, for those of you who don't know, you have like the Guardians and like maybe 4 or 5 other major alien races and like space groups. Like half of Marvel's cosmology in at least the movieverse is stunted. Like in the comic books, you have like the Shi'ar, the Krees, the Skrulls, the Badoon, the Phalanx, I think they're called, this machine-like alien race. But there's like 5 or 6 top alien races, and then you have like everybody else. And some of those alien races, they first came up in other people's stories. Like I want to say, I think the Phalanx and the I want to say the Badoon maybe too. They were and the Shi'ar. They're a part of the X-Men's line of stories. So Marvel can't use none of their space characters, like the Phoenix, the Shi'ar, Liandra, Gladiator, the Royal Court. None of those kind of characters, Marvel can't touch them. But if they get the X-Men, they can bring them in, maybe have them meet the Guardians. Maybe Marvel can finally get the Nova Corps off the ground. They hinted at it with the last Guardians movie. But, I'm waiting to see Richard Rider come up and be like, yo, look, I'm the Green Lantern of Marvel. Do something. Like I'm waiting for them to really become like their comic book counterpart. They're not there yet. They're pushing it. And they could do it if they can get the rights to all those other characters. But so far, Marvel's killing it. I mean, nobody else is on par with them so far. Like, you got Sony doing Spider-Man movies without Spider-Man. Oh yeah, let's do a Venom movie without Spider-Man. Like, what kind of bullshit does that mean? When Venom gets his powers from Spider-Man. So, pretty much most of them. Like, his probably strength, his speed, wall crawling, and web slinging. That all comes from Spider-Man. If Spider-Man's not in Venom, how are you gonna have those abilities? All he could do is shapeshift, maybe have a little bit of super strength, and that's about it. Because that's all the symbiote really did. His didn't do none of that weird extra shit that none of the other Marvel symbiotes can do. But it's just one of those things where I'm hoping they do get everything, and I hope all the movie companies can make deals and shake hands and get the ball moving, because like I want to see everybody in like the Marvel continuity of films. You know what I'm saying? Because they make they can make movies for the next 50 or 60 years if they wanted to. If that was the case, they could just go right down the line, start from scratch. Have the Fantastic Four, fight Mole Man, or have like Magneto first come up and fight the X-Men. Like, they could do a whole lot, YouTube. Like there's a whole lot that they could do if they have all of those characters. But anyways, guys, that's just my thoughts on Marvel's biggest and most baddest trailer released thus far. And I'm probably gonna do another video breaking down this trailer and stuff like that. I may release that in a couple days, or maybe over the weekend or something. But I'm probably gonna do another one of these. So if you guys like to see me talk about this a little bit more in depthly, where I break it down probably scene by scene, then keep an eye out for more content and things like that. But in the comments below, let me know what you guys think of Marvel or Infinity War or whatever it is that they do in the MCU, and I'll be sure to read them. Maybe we could talk in the comments and things like that and get a discussion going. So my name is Denonu, the man with black privilege, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.